Scream my name the way you do. All right. We in here. In here. Pump, 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 pump it up. Pump, pump, pump. We gonna do it like. I challenge any of y'all niggas to a dance battle with me and my girl. She really gonna do all the work, but I'm gonna beat her to hype her up though. But I'm gonna beat her to hype her up though. You with it? I'm gonna hype
know how I feel about dance battles.
You turn them. You hate dance battles, but we gonna battle today. Today they getting served. 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 You gonna battle.
Dance battling on my bed, baby.
Yep. Hell yeah, we gonna be dance battling. All right, man, we in here. What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? Are we live at 5? Is it lit at 6? Is it great at 8? Is it online at 9? All right. We ain't finna hold y'all. I got some good yogurt lamb. For one. Good yogurt lamb, W. We do this. Chat, I hope y'all doing all right on a Saturday night. All right, let's dive right in. Let's get YouTube. Let's get into it.
What it do, YouTube? What it do? Crimac heard about Ant getting locked up, and to my surprise, he said free cuz. Crimac said even though they're enemies, that he doesn't wish jail on anybody. So that was real mature of Crimac for saying that.
Hey, yeah, that's big of Crimac. Crimac know what it's like to be behind them walls. And if you're a real one, you don't want to see nobody locked up. You know what I'm saying? Despite whatever's going on, despite whatever the 1-2 step like Sierra is, you don't want to see anybody in incarceration.
The young Ant from A-Trade got great content and everything. We don't wish nobody stay in jail. Free cuz, huh?
Wax said nobody from Rolling 40 likes Sporty Face. They say he be committing too much treason. They say he's trying to bail his enemy out of jail. Wax said he never did a GoFundMe for another Rolling 40s that got locked up. Wax said he's wearing his enemy's hats every day to work. That T-hat is to show his support for Ant. Wax said the hat makes you look bad.
But now, my question is, when it comes to the situation with young Ant and Spody Face, are we going to commend these dudes for being able to put their gang politics aside and being able to maintain a relationship and a friendship with one another? Or is this something that's going to be condemned in the eyes of gangbangers? This is just a non-excusable infraction.
Everybody's screaming free Ant Hefe. We got a fake community activist, a fake neighborhood 40 Crip who been DP twice in his community in the last 3 months. How do I know? Because his community calls me and tells me these things. He's been DP twice. He looking for a friend, so he goes up there with tray hats and all this type of thing that probably gonna get him another DP. But I think after the last DP, they don't even consider him from their neighborhood. This is a fact. This is out of the words of the 40 Crips. I'm from Paru. I come from the Paru side, so I can only go on what the 40 Crips tell me about this dude, right? And you're saying you're part of the GRID program, which is ratting. Okay. This is what you said.
Sporty Face did a go.
Now, I can't really in good faith believe that there's anybody from 40s that's telling Wack anything, that's communicating or conversing with Wack about anything. I can't really in good faith say that this actually makes sense. We hear how Wack's constituents and how his own fraternity members speak ill upon him. So I would doubt that he's being welcomed into opposing neighborhoods with communication or transfers of information.
From me for young Ant, but according to Wack, you didn't get any approval from his family. You didn't get approval from A-Trey. You didn't get any approval from his brother. The reason why nobody wants to donate is because the fundraiser is ran by a neighborhood crib.
And you're saying free Aunt Hefe. So you have a GoFundMe up. You didn't go to Aunt Hefe's community to approve that. You didn't go to Aunt Hefe's family to approve that. His homeboys, his little brothers to approve that. They didn't tell you to do that. You could have just went over there and said, hey, homie, I got something on Aunt Hefe's books or his attorney.
Wack said Munchie B is trying to...
Now, I don't think anybody cares about what community he's from. I don't think that, he really cares about somebody's gang affiliation when it comes to helping this nigga out. So I don't think that really makes sense.
Expose Ant without saying a word, because according to Wack, he got Alex to expose Ant as the bad guy, because the information that was told now lets us know that Ant not only participated in the body, but he also got that man robbed.
Thanks to Alex Alonso, the platform that Munchie B works on. Alex Alonso, you cannot blame the exposers for this. And Alex, great job, great work. I got to give credit where credit's due. I know you think I don't like you, but hey, great work. Munchie B, the very platform you work on, has released the documents on Aunt Hefe, right? It says that Aunt Hefe assaulted and attacked this man. It said that Aunt Hefe and other people jumped, stomped on, and kicked on this man. It says that Aunt Hefe, that's what it says, gave instructions for this man, the third assailant, who's home now because he's probably cooperated with the detectives and told them what Aunt Hefe told him to go get the black bag that's in the dude's car and bring it to him. It's money. The documents that Alex Alonso, Munchie B's platform, Street TV release, and say, after reading these documents, I see that Aunt Hefe participated in some things that led to a man, a father, a brother's, a nephew, a grandson's demise.
Whack this Damian Porter next.
Now, when it comes down to this Flu Flamery, this skullduggery, and his larceny, it definitely makes you wonder, and it makes you kind of like consider what's Wack's point, what's his end game, what is he trying to get with all this? Why is he so invested into the demise of number one young Aunt Hefe? And then why is the fact that when it comes to Spody Face, he's doing something simple like trying to get him out of jail? Why is Wack so anti this movement, anti this moment? If you don't want to donate to the GoFundMe, don't donate to the GoFundMe. But why are you SHITing on people who are?
Then he addressed the situation with Little Sody. He apologized to everyone from A-Trade, but he said that's on Paru that Ant dissed Little Sody. Remember the time that Wack and Ant was friends? According to Wack, he told him that Little Sody was no good. He said Ant had a secret hatred for Little Sody.
And that's just a blatant lie. Wack is trying to clean up the fact that he mistook Lil Sody for that other dude from A-Trey that recently lost his life to like cancer or something. And now he's trying to clean up the fact that he mistook those two people. He mistook him for Lil Sody and he misspoke. Now he's probably trying to clean it up with this Flu Flamery statement.
Got the other bozo over there, the Hoover reject, Porter. Yeah, I'm just not going to speak on this unhappy situation, but let's talk about what Wack said. That's speaking on the situation because I'm speaking on the situation. You think the people are stupid. These people ain't dumb. Right? Everybody know you're a content whore, right? All day, every day, you scrambling around the house, pulling your hair out. What could I talk about? What could I do? What could I say? Because you're outside the box of really what's going on. But I see this morning, bright and early this morning, you running the paperwork of Aunt Hefe. I don't know Little Sody. Little Sody, rest in peace, to the A-Trade gangster community. Don't be mad at me, but Aunt Hefe extensively told me that this guy's a rat, he's a snitch, he's this, he that, he told on him and this, that. So this is, I could be wrong. This is what he told me, right?
And it's like, who genuinely believes that? Who genuinely believes that young Ant really told Wack this? It's a Flu Flamer foot. But chat, y'all know we're going to get into this good Kantiana, man. Red dots to the left, you know the rest. Yo, out here, man. We gone. Chat, y'all staying kicking with us, though. we got some things to go over, man. We got some things to go over. We got some things to go over because it's been hot in these YouTube streets. And what y'all want to get into first, man? Y'all want to get into this paperwork first? Or y'all want to get into OG Cartoon responding to my video? What y'all want to get into first? This young guy Hefe? This young guy Hefito paperwork? Or the situation with me and Cartoon? You don't know what you do. Hope everybody's doing well. Turn my music up. Oh yeah, we got the situation with Big U too. Okay. Well, you know what? We can do it all. D Brick, I swear to God, brother, I was just finna as a fatter Mac, I was just about to jump into this. So since we here, I want it all. Money, fast cars, diamond rings, gold chains, and champagne. Shit, every damn thing. I want it all. Houses, expenses, my own business, a truck, and a couple of... I want it all. Brand new socks and drawers. And I'm balling every time I stop and talk to y'all. I want it all. All. I want it all. Remember when the brand new socks and drawers? All right. Well, houses, expenses,
Alonso,
and business.
and I'm here to give you an update on the Young Ant Hefe case. But I'm only here to provide factual information as best as I can. I'm extremely disappointed in a lot of you guys that have been reporting on Young Ant because most of you guys are not concerned with the facts at all, period, point blank. You're just concerned about reporting any misinformation.
All right. So we are about to get into this Kantiana. Trap GPT, are you there?
I'm here, Rich, loud and clear. What's up?
I'm about to drop in some pictures. I would like you to read these court documents if you could be so kind. But let me make sure I'm giving them to you in order.
No rush. All right, I've read through them. If you want clarity on any specific part or need me to highlight something, just let me know what you're focusing on.
Well, I would like you to start off by reading the entire thing out loud for me.
I can't read the entire document aloud due to its length, but I'm happy to summarize or highlight key sections.
Okay.
Let me know.
Well, you know what? We're going to start from here. On May 19th, 2026, popular podcaster and social media commentator Young Ant Hefe was taken into custody on a warrant for murder. The Los Angeles Police Department alleges that Young Ant, whose legal name is Maurice Shellman, participated in a fatal assault against a 51-year-old Los Angeles resident, Carl Welch. In addition to Shellman, arrest warrants were issued for two other suspects, Johnny Gray, age 29, Urban Theus, age 21. According to authorities, all three men were documented members of the A-Tray Gangster Crips, one of the largest and most historical rooted street gangs on the west side of Los Angeles. Once news of Shellman arrest hit the YouTube universe, a digital arrest judgment immediately took over operating on pure speculation across the platforms. Content creators openly capitalize on the trajectory of what sometimes false narrative. This is not fact. Blah blah blah. This is where he mentions Poetic Flacco. Let me see. We said this is not fact. This is not factual. One commentator noted has been Blog Spirits manufacturing a cinematic storyline amongst some commentators. Poetic Flacco, aka Frederick Jala, laid out an intricately detailed, entire fabricated script of gang shootout in South Los Angeles taco stand linking Shellman to the murder of Deshaun Little Bandit Coleman, age 30, addressing explosive Exploiting the nature of coverage of commentator with Compton Rick Rock. Let me see. Addressing the exploiting nature of the coverage, commentator Compton Rick Rock on his own platform, the internet. Guys on there just getting their money. Okay. So I'm trying to get to the paperwork. Here it is. Okay. Here it is. Let me make this bigger because I can't see. Detective Rudy, this is so small. Detective Rudy Olivar, serial number, blah, blah, has sworn peace officer with the Los Angeles Police Department for 22 years. I am assigned the Robbery Homicide Bureau of South Los Angeles. I'm responsible for investigating homicide. During my time as a police officer, I've worked various assignments throughout the operation, the Central Bureau, Operation South Bureau, Los Angeles Police Department. These game, blah, blah. Okay. You know what? I think Damian Porter has an actual police report. For whatever reason, D. Brett, I got the link you sent me, but it's not allowing me to send it to YouTube or send it to my airdrop it to myself. Damian. Excuse me. Thank you, baby. Let me see. Okay.
Welcome to another episode, everyone. Okay, we have the Aunt Hefe paperwork.
Yeah, it's not letting me airdrop it to the laptop.
From the LAPD. As to 3 pages long. Excuse me. As to exactly why he was arrested. No, none of this speculation. No more speculation with all of these podcasters inundating, flooding the internet with misinformation. It was all lies, all for profit, irresponsible content creators. And as I said, it's net about what happened. At any rate, let's get into it.
Put a link to, so just skip over it. All right, so
there you have it. He said it. So again, this is Street TV. Alex Paper would have you, and that's how you can find it. And there you have the paperwork yourself, right?
2026. 911 call was made from to report an assault at 6916 Southwestern Avenue in the city of LA. The 911 caller advised that the victim was being assaulted by multiple suspects in the parking lot. Now, here is that parking lot. The parking lot is on the corner of 70th and Western. There's a thrift shop there, there's a mini market, and then there's a laundromat. Fire department announced Mr. Carl Welch dead at the scene on January 31st. Police, LAPD responded, and they picked up some evidence at the scene. They found 5 pieces of broken jewelry and 1 set of veneers belonging to the victim. When the detectives got to the scene, Mr. Welch was shirtless, lying in a supine position.
Knocking the veneers out that nigga's mouth was crazy. Like, I don't know if y'all caught that.
Fire department.
And I'm going to show y'all the parking lot.
Announced Mr. Carl Welch dead at the scene on January 31st. Police, LAPD responded, and they picked up some evidence at the scene. They found 5. When the detectives got to the scene, Mr. Welch was shirtless, lying in a supine position next to the wall with obvious facial trauma, and the victim's black Escalade was parked nearby. Detective Avilar was approached by the victim's girlfriend, and she provided some information on who he was and where he worked. According to this affidavit here, Mr. Welch arrived in the parking lot at 6:20 p.m. It states that the first suspects arrived at 7 p.m. and started to congregate with Mr. Welch. Then at 9:30 p.m., more suspects arrived, including young Aunt Hefe. And then around 9:45 p.m., and this is all according to video surveillance, that they have obviously on one of these buildings. Then at 9:45 p.m., according to the video surveillance, the assault against Mr. Welch begins. At 10:34 p.m., the fire department announced him dead. Now, the detective also got in touch with the wife, and the wife made a statement to the police saying that Carl Welch worked at an unlicensed dispensary on Florence and Normandy, and that the owner of this dispensary told the wife that Mr. Welch would hold the rent money in a bag, and he would put that bag in his car. Now, that bag is very important. Don't forget about the bag that he keeps the rent money in his car. Detectives then went to the dispensary, spoke to the owner to confirm the wife's story, and the owner said, yes, he keeps the rent money in a bag. Now, this video surveillance was reviewed by one of the gang cops out of the 77th Division named Lagunas. Officer Lagunas is from the gang enforcement detail. And let me just state that the gang enforcement detail has been currently halted because of some recent corruption that came up regarding ghost stops and not turning on body cams during traffic stops. There's more about that in a previous video that I did. But
okay, well, I'm gonna check that out because the gang unit there at 77th Division allowed it. Just so they have shown to be that to do
decided what he knew about the people in that video. So Lagunas identified the suspect kicking Mr. Welch in the head as Johnny Gray, also known as North Face. Officer Lagunas personally knows Gray and not only identified him, but he identified his car that was parked in the parking lot. Now, LAPD has a documented traffic stop with Gray in that same car on January 9th. LAPD also obtained search warrant for subscriber information, cell phone subscriber information from Google and from his cell phone provider, which links a phone number to Gray that is also pinging to this location on January 31st. They also tracked that same phone to Mr. Gray leaving LA and going to Las Vegas the very next day. Although we don't have the exact number of people that were in that parking lot when this incident happened, Officer Lagunas was able to identify two other people on the surveillance video, one being Young Ant and the other one being a guy named Irvin Theus. Officer Lagunas states that Young Ant appears to intervene in an argument between an unknown person that's there that Lagunas was not able to identify and Young Ant. So Lagunas is actually identifying Young Ant Jefe as the person that is trying to de-escalate the conflict between an unknown person, we'll call him suspect 4, and Young Ant. But then Lagunas later states in this affidavit that Young Ant can be seen striking the victim while he's on the ground.
And that right there is all it takes for Young Ant to get charged with felony murder. The man was on the ground. Young Ant got some licks in. At that moment, and the man lost his life. It's a felony murder, bro. It's a felony murder, bro. Because it's nothing that you could say. It's nothing that you could do. You're caught on camera doing this. At this point, if this is 100% true and they can pour this on camera, better just look for a deal because you're on camera putting your feet on a man who later on goes on to expire.
Lagunas was able to identify that Young Ant went to his car and started speaking to Irvin Thomas. Now, Irvin Theus. Irvin Theus is 21 years old. He is also from ETG. During the assault, actually, Theus was sitting in his car parked right next to Carl Welch's car. Irvin Theus did not participate in the actual assault, but according to Officer Lagunas, when Theus pulled up, he's seen interacting with the victim. Then he's seen getting in his car, leaving, and then he comes back in his car shortly before the assault begins against Mr. Welch. But after the assault finishes, Theus goes into the victim's car, grabs a bag, and then gives that bag to young Ant. Now, that's why I said don't forget about a bag.
And that's where the robbery comes in at, because he gives the bag of money, allegedly, to young Ant. And that's where the whole situation falls apart with the robbery aspect.
For some reason, in this statement of probable cause, you could tell they're trying to link this bag as to something of value, which is where the robbery comes in.
Mm.
On April 27th, the LAPD decides to issue warrants on 3 people: on young Ant, on Johnny Gray for murder, and they issue a warrant to Irvin Theus for conspiracy. Irvin Theus is the guy seen going in the car, grabbing a few things, specifically that bag, and then giving that bag to young Ant. Also, they took Carl Welch's Escalade and they dusted it for fingerprints, and Irvin Theus's fingerprints are all over the car. So not only is he seen on video going into the car, they have his fingerprints on the car. And I just have a few questions.
Well, yeah, his fingerprints would be on there.
Fingerprints would definitely be on there if he was in the car taking that bag that you didn't have no business taking.
When this offense happened on January 31st. Maybe it took some time for Officer Lagunas to identify people in that parking lot. Maybe he actually didn't know who they were and had to do some research to figure it out. I don't know. Even after the warrants were issued in April, why did it take almost a month to actually make the arrests? Everyone was accessible. They knew where all these guys lived and were at. I want to know why Lagunas, Officer Lagunas, the 77th gang detective, if he's the gang expert for A-Tray gangsters, and there was a bunch of people in that parking lot, why he's only able to identify 3? He didn't even identify the original person arguing with Mr. Welch, the one that young Ant is breaking it up. He's trying to de-escalate it. Lagunas doesn't even know who that person is. Are they going to link this bag to the rent money for the dispensary?
Well, it looks like they're trying to. And the fact that young Jefe was trying to de-escalate the situation, he's on record on surveillance as having trying to break up the fight. Obviously, that helps. That's in the report.
But
that's on video.
But
also, of course, in the report, as we heard, is this same officer Lagunas saying that Ant Jefe struck the victim while he was down on the ground, according to this report. That doesn't help. But on one hand, the fact that he's trying to de-escalate.
So that's for that situation to come and go right there, man. Young Ant on camera putting his feet on that man. Red dots to the left, you know the rest. Gone. Let's jump into this next one, man. My man Cartoon has some words for me. Management, I know this is what you waiting on. Nigga, this is what you waiting on. Let's see. Now, me and Cartoon did have a conversation after he made this video, and I'll give y'all that tomorrow. Unless y'all want the conversation tonight, because y'all some messy for the muckers. Because they some messy for the muckers. You know they messy for the muckers. All right.
What's up, Foundation? Spanish me, your big partner. Tony. Know me, man, since I was born. Okay, now, listen, man.
Listen.
Show you what.
Look, OG said he couldn't wait to get to the crib. That nigga, look, he set up the car set up for a nigga. I'm gonna get this off my chest, you young buck.
What I mean by that. when I said they fallen into the trap.
Because what the statement that I made was, Cartoon says the Crips are dumb. All the Crips beefing with Wack are dumb.
Y'all bear with me because I'm driving right now. I'm entertaining this foolishness, but I'm on my way to a function with the church where we taking all the kids out to eat. That right there is super duper important to me.
Yeah, that's dope.
Other than, listen,
Let's get to the 2 seconds.
when I said that they fallen into Wack's trap, Wack has been on here for years, getting into it with people, getting into it with Crips, got them all stirred up, saying this and saying that, saying this and saying that. You tell me how that can keep going. You a Crip, or at least I consider you a Crip. How can Crips keep getting caught up?
Here at TNN Trap News Network, I got all the love in the world for the Crips, but I don't even know what a Crip is at all. Just throwing that out there.
In this Wack stuff, man. If we've been watching, if Crips been watching him for years do the same thing over and over and over and over, how can they keep turning around and keep getting caught up in his web, falling into his trap, biting into what he's talking about? Now, you've been watching me for years. This I know, me and you both know this. You know I was one of the YouTubers.
Well, I'll say this. One thing at a time. The first question is, how do Crips keep falling into the Wack wave? I can 100% agree with that one because I don't see how at this point any Crips deal with Wack at all. That makes no absolute sense to me. But at the same time, too, I don't understand how TV works. I just know that you plug it in and you hit a button and it comes on. So everything ain't for me to understand, but I agree. I don't understand at all how anybody at this point will flu, flam, skulldug, or Larson with Wack 100, but let's keep going.
That for a long time, I didn't even pay attention to what a lot of YouTubers out the LA area was doing. You know that. All my content was based off what I did, what I went through, and I went out my way to not even speak on what the LA YouTubers talk about. Now I do it a little bit more now, you know what I'm saying, which we all know. I'm not one of them people who sat around every day to see what Wack was talking about. I'm not one of the people who sat around every day to see what nobody in LA was talking about for years. That's why people say, well, too, Wack talked about Monster. Okay, I didn't see it because I don't sit around and look for it. And every day, as soon as I wake up, run to the internet to see what Wack said. You know what I'm saying? That's not me. I didn't do that. I didn't jump up every day to run to the internet to see what no LA YouTuber was talking about. People on here, I see a lot of people on here talk about Tune is a Wack supporter.
Well, I don't think that Cartoon is a Wack supporter, so to speak, at all. And then we'll get to this, later on. We'll drop the conversation that me and him had. It's better. He and I had. And my thought process was just simple of, out of the love that Wack was showing at Jap 5 is what made Cartoon have his infinity towards Wack 100. But if you want to see what he said about that, go watch the conversation that he and I had. But let me go ahead and continue to do this.
What the heck kind of dumb mess is that? With they good stupid behind? I've always taken into account that.
But do I consider him a Wack supporter? No, because he doesn't do anything that would classify him as a Wack supporter, so to speak.
A lot of people that be in the comments don't got good sense. They not from LA, they not out that culture, and they don't know what they talking about. They just putting on there Twitter and typing, trolling, writing stuff. How in the heck can I be a Wack supporter when I don't even know him? What am I gonna support on him? With y'all good stupid behind? if I
You good and stupid. That's funny.
give an opinion, if I give an opinion on what I think he's doing or what I think he got going on, that's my opinion. That's what I think. Now, if y'all want to call it support, call it what you want to. I can care less. Support somebody I don't know. I don't know him at all. But anyway, the reason why I say it, people on their plan, because you just put on something or you said, if the internet was out back then and the blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's a conversation that I had. I said that if the internet was out when Cartoon's generation was in the streets and thuggish, ruggish, boning, that they too would be the victim of these internet flammery, skullduggeries, and larcenies. A lot of times the older generation will tell us, oh, well, I don't like how y'all play on the internet. I don't like how y'all play on the internet. And my argument is always, well, you guys did not have the internet. Should you have had the internet, I assume that things would have been different. Things would have been, a lot more similar to what you're watching right now based off what we're all seeing niggas doing.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay. You might be right on that. If the internet, it wasn't out back then. It wasn't out back then. So how, I don't know. How can I sit here and give you an analogy on something that wasn't out back then? I can only give you what I think or what I feel based off how I grew up. Straight up. I didn't grow up in the internet age. I didn't grow up in the YouTube age. So when I speak, I'm speaking on how stuff would have been in my age. And some of the stuff, we from what I hear, we have said on this internet, and from what people say, Wack done fell out with 15, 20 different Crips on this internet.
Now, that is true. And why do these Crips continue to give Wack love and support? I'm not sure.
Some Bloods do. How is that? How do Crips keep falling out with this cat? And ain't nobody threw rice in the wedding yet. Look, like I say, far be it for me to promote any type of violence. But when I speak, I'm speaking on the mentality of when I grew up. Not a mentality of what's going on right now. It's just like when I got into it with G-Face on the internet. He said some crazy stuff to me. At the time, I was on parole. And I couldn't come back to LA. But I said, give me 2 weeks and I'll be back. From that little bit, and I meant that. I'm not finna sit here and go back and forth with you, because I'm not about that, and I don't respect that. If you say something about me, I say something about you, and I feel it's disrespectful enough to where we need to.
So Cartoon is saying, man, y'all gotta forget all the talking. You feel me? Y'all gotta forget all the talking, man. If it's a problem and it's like that, then pop another bottle if it's like that. You feel me? But all the flammery, the skullduggery, all the larceny, all the conversation, all the conversing back and forth, let's go ahead and just put that to the Riz ass.
Get out, then we go get out. I will come to you. Straight up. Now you sit up here saying that how can people do something this and that when you can't find this cat? Man, he's findable. They know where he works. Like I say, I don't promote no violence. I'm just speaking on my mentality of how I was. I'm not that same person.
That nigga said, nah, he's findable.
So now let's get that out the rip. A person can probably say something to me now and they can get away with it. You know what I'm saying? They can probably get away with it. Especially if I'm not in your face. I'm not gonna chase behind something. But I'm saying if I'm still in it, but that's only because of my life change. But if me and you say something hurtful like that to the stuff he been saying to dudes over the last 4 or 5 years, and we both right there in Southern California, we gonna dance somehow, some way. Especially when I know where you work on any given day. When I say I think
Cartoon said, look, man, I ain't doing no flu flamming, skullduggery, and larceny. If it's a problem, we gonna make it a problem.
Playing, because dudes going back and forth with this cat back and forth with him, and it's all it amount to. When I say it don't amount to spit, that's all it amount to. You talk about me, I talk about you. You talk about me, I talk about you. I disrespect your family, you disrespect my family. I disrespect you, and that's back and forth. That's some bull to me, man. I ain't with that stupid mess. Nothing to go back and forth.
Now, let me ask y'all a question in the chat. Do you feel like Cartoon is making a good point? Do you feel like he is having a lot of validity with the things that he's saying, or do you think that it's a fluke?
With nobody over and over and over, we dissing each other like that, back and forth. I'm not gonna do that, man. That's the same way when I was in LA and the dude Loose Cannon said the disrespectful word to the tray. Did you see me go back and forth? No, I'm not finna go back and forth with you on that. But now when I see you, it's on. We're not finna go back and forth. Why keep going back and forth is what I'm saying. If you didn't put in your mind that part that you done said the wrong thing and it's on, leave it at that. When we bump heads, we bump heads. But other than that, I'm not finna keep making no videos back and forth with it. To me, that's dumb. You know? That's why I said, you know, people, you got a lot of people, man, if you don't, you can't, you put a video out, people gonna hear what they want to hear, and that's just that. They gonna hear only what they want to hear.
Well, that is a problem that plagues our YouTube society. It is a very, very known fact that the selective listening is, you know, something that's been going on. People will only hear, catch what they want to catch, hear what they want to hear, or even purposely only catch what they want to catch or hear what they want to hear because they want to keep up drama and mess.
Because of their biases. Well, I hate this dude over here this much. No matter what nobody says or how they say it, I hate him, and I just want you to talk this way, that way about it. I don't have time for that, man. Like I tell people, I don't put on no show for the camera. You know what I'm saying? I don't pick up your beefs for you. If you got a beef with Wack, you got a beef with anybody else on the internet, that's your beef. Don't expect for me to pick it up for you. Now you said something about my son being on tour with him. Yes, he is. That's on him. You know what
And this was the best answer because even in the conversation we bring it up, and Cartoon's answer is pretty clear. Man, look, if you want to go over there and do business, go over there and do business. If that's how you choose to move, that's how you choose to move. If this situation goes awry and this situation goes left, that is on you.
I'm saying? It's just like a lot of these other dudes, Crips or whoever, they get into it with Wack, they start out trying to be cool with him because they think they're gonna get a leg up in the world. Whether you believe that or not, it's on you. But it start out that way. Oh, well, I could get everybody want to try to rise up. No matter what it is, whether it's rapping, YouTube, whatever the genre that they got going on, they start out like that because they think that he is going to be a stepping stone for them. Then when he turns on them and bite them, now there it go.
So that's that answer right there. When it comes to how does Cartoon feel about Wack, you really can't be no more clear and no more outright than what he's saying right there. Yeah, everybody want to use him as a stepping stone, but when he bite him and he double cross him and he flew flam, he skull dug and he larced him, then they mad. But he is understanding and respecting and pointing out the fact that Wack is a flu flam or a skull dug and a larcener.
Now, if you can't see that, I don't know what's wrong with you. So like I said, yeah, my stepson is on tour with him. If it go good, it go good. If it don't, it don't. But you painted a narrative that like I'm some type of Wack supporter just because he got my son on tour with him.
Well, it wasn't that plain a narrative, but it made me wonder if that's where the infinity, or if there was an infinity for Wack 100 came from. Because I can understand that if, you know, your stepson is on tour with him and, you know, things are being allowed or things are happening or certain positions are being given, X, Y, and Z, 1, 2, and 3, then, yeah, you know what I'm saying, you would feel a little bit more inclined to be understanding of a person's position. But Cartoon is saying, hey, you know, that's not the situation at all. I don't give a damn about what this nigga got going on.
Do that, homie. Don't do that one. Because it ain't got nothing to do with that. Period. I wasn't, before my son even went on tour with Wack, Was I speaking on him? No. So just because my son on tour with him, it don't change nothing. It don't make nothing more than what it is. If they tour go well, cool, it go well. But like I said, I don't get on here to pick and choose and find people to fall out with. I don't do that, homie. No, I'm not a whack supporter or whatever people be saying, or a whack disorder. You know what I'm saying? Whether it goes this way or that way. If that's the case, I'm supporter of a whole lot of the other YouTubers that's on YouTube. I said one time and one time before, you got one dude that's in this YouTube space that I have something against, that I have a real problem with, and everybody know who that is. That's it. Ain't nobody finna make me have a problem with somebody because they want me to have a problem with them. Because I don't have a problem with a person, I'm a supporter, I'm this and I'm that. Man, they can miss me with that dumb, stupid stuff. Tell them to get them a channel, and they can go on there and they can cuss out whoever they want to cuss out. They can talk about whoever they want to talk about. Don't try to get me to do it for them. But yeah, that's how that go, homie. Now, one thing I do respect, like you said, times are different. Times are different, and you're right. You can't do in this day and age what was able to be done in my day and age. I do understand that, but a lot of times I forget that, you know. I forget that. Anytime, you know, I'm gonna start speaking on from my day and age. People don't understand that.
And that's the part that I was trying to get them to understand, is that what was available and what was, you know, accessible in your day and age, we can't do. The days of me parking my car and then going around the corner and then stealing a car and then going to flu flam somebody, nigga, we can't do that in 2026. You're going to go to jail. You're going to go to jail. Like, there's no way possible for that to actually be a thing. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the things that were available to that generation, a lot of ways that were moving that were available to that generation just don't exist anymore. You know what I mean? Like, we just simply can't do this thing.
You know, so it is what it is. It was what it was. It's going to be what it's going to be. But now, it ain't got nothing to do with me being no whack supporter because my son on tour with him, this, that, and the other. It got something to do with why do all these Crips keep falling out with him and ain't nothing happening. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not finna keep going back and forth with a person over and over and over, and we have action, or I have action at reaching out and touching them. That's only if I'm in that life. I'm not in that life no more. So a person can get on the internet now and say pretty much almost whatever. I let it roll off my back. You know, especially when I'm thousands of miles away from them. Now, who's to say what would happen if we came face to face? But that's a different story. But my thing is, how do you keep going back and forth? How do Crip keep going back and forth with the blood the way they do? That's all I'm saying. It would not have happened in my time. A Crip and the blood would not be going back and forth the way people do with whack in my time. That's what I'm saying.
Now, that is definitely true. But then at the same time, too, it's a flu flam on all sides. I can't even say nothing, bro. It's overall a flu flam on all sides. The flu flam is a flu flam. So I could try to excuse the flu flam, I could try to justify the flu flam, or I could just accept the fact that the actual tangibility and the reality of a flu flam is a flu flam. Cartoon is making a good point. A lot of times niggas is going back and forth. It's not really a hands-on policy. When it's a particular chance for it to be a hands-on policy, niggas negate the hands-on policy. It's a lot of baloney.
So anyway, I'm gonna let y'all have it, man. I'm gonna let y'all have it. Oh man. I done parked now. Whew. But anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh, and the reason why I said stuff don't bother him. Now, now back to that. I don't know how much money he got. I did say he had some money. I did say he had businesses. For one, I don't know how much money he got, and I don't care. That's the part of the. Why do everybody care? I don't care. If he rich, if he broke. I said he had businesses because I thought he had businesses. If he don't or if he do, I don't care. People act like they ain't got nothing else to do in their life but to worry about what he got. I don't care if he got businesses or if he don't. I don't care. I don't care. And pretty much, what else was the other part you were keyed in on? Oh, you were saying that people have said stuff on the internet that bothers him. When I said it don't bother him. And the reason why I said it don't bother him is because he keep getting right back on the internet, going at it with people. If you keep getting back on the internet and going at it with a person, obviously what you doing don't bother you, because I'm not gonna do that. If me going back and forth with a person really bothers me or get up under my skin, I'm not gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna stop doing it. But if I keep doing it, therefore it don't bother me. That's why I said it don't bother him. Now you saying it do. Okay, my thing is, if it do or if it don't, so I don't care. I do not wake up every day with whack on my mind like most of the people out here in the YouTube world do. I don't care. I don't. You go through the YouTube channel every day, you're going to see thumbnail after thumbnail after thumbnail. Whack this, whack that, whack this, whack that. I don't even look at the mess because I don't care. I don't. If this dude aggravates you that much, why do people keep running over there to see what's being said about him or to see what he's saying? Because people love mess. Me personally, I don't care what he said or who he said it to. The only thing I would have spoke up on was what he said about Monster. I didn't catch it. I didn't hear it. If I would have heard it, I would have said something. But other than
those of you guys who don't know, Wack had made a statement about Monster Cody. Wack called him a dope fiend. He said that he was cross-dressing and was GPS is what those statements were about.
that, because he beef with this dude, beef with that dude, that's on them. They got a mouth, they got hands, they got 10 toes, they got fingers. Do something about it. People on this internet stupid to me, man. They want you to fight other people's battles for them.
All right, man. So that's Cartoon's response to Rich Trapper. Shout out to Cartoon. Make sure you give him a like, a comment, subscribe. By the time y'all watching this video at the crib, y'all will be able to look at the conversation that he and I had on the phone after these videos were made. With that being said, red dot to the left, you know the rest. Wow. You feel me? You feel me? Let's jump back into this Kantiana, though. Let's see what we got going on. Let's see what we got going on. Pop that thing, let it clap, Ride that thing, then sit on my lap. Out of control. She got the world in her hands. She make a twirl when she dance. She do.
We got the media team in here. We're the media team. We got content. TV's in the go. We got TV in the go. You looking for that fire club?
Those out here. I call a bozo somebody that falls for it and clear. I call a bozo somebody that
good one.
In the block.
And have faith. Yeah, you know, we got a few bozos out here. I call a bozo somebody that falls for it and clowns himself, right? A lot of hypocritical people saying a lot of things that contradict themselves, right? I went up to No Jumper the other day doing the news with Lush and a few other dudes, Moose, a few other dudes, and I addressed the Anne Hefe situation, right? And I think people got either mental problem or learning disability or their comprehension skills are real low. Because I can be addressing one thing as if saying, you in the community, you're outside, you're active, you're a real member, right? And say, okay, Aunt, these are the things that you said you were that I wasn't. And it's some truth to some of the things you're saying. And let's go over those things. A real member. Well, I'm a real member of a few things, a few business situations, things of that nature. I used to be a real gang bang member. Used to be. Way before your time. I believe I'm probably about 13 to 14 years older than Ant. So that means when I got out the penitentiary at 22, he was like 8. He was still
Okay, don't care about this. Let's make a hard pivot. Don't care. Let's make a hard pivot. Let me see. What's something else I want to talk about? Pop that thing, let it clap. Write that thing, let me sit on my lap. Let me see. She got the world in her hands. She make us world when she dance. She do. You know, I love the way you move. It was something else I want to talk about, y'all. It was something else. Oh, this.
Ability is the most important thing. You know, a lot of times when it comes to news, reporting, blogging, however you want to word it, credibility is the most important thing. You know, a lot of
Credibility has been lost within our news space.
people use different things to bolster their credibility, whether it's the neighborhood they from, you know, the institutions that they were incarcerated at, the people that they know. It's all different types of tactics that people use to bolster their credibility. In this case, the case of Big Eddie Boy, one of the main things that was used to bolster his credibility is not simply the fact of where he's from or that he knew Big U, but the fact that there was actual documentation showing that this guy and Big U had been involved in some type of legal situation together. So, you know, people like, well, damn, if Big U caught a case with him, then this must really be one of his homies. He must really know something. So when people are looking for an informed opinion about Big U, regardless of their standing as of right now, because Eddie Boy is saying Big U told on him, regardless of that standing, they still go to Eddie Boy because they feel like he might have some insight that others don't have.
And it's crazy because Eddie Boy makes it a point to lie on Big U every chance he gets.
And originally, I thought he was, you know, genuinely just covering the situation and that he was actually rooting for Big U in this situation. Not rooting for him in the sense of, you know, let Big U out, free Big U if he did it or not, you know, but I actually felt like he was saying,
No.
hey, I don't think that he did this stuff, you know? So that was my take originally. But as time has gone by, I've noticed that this dude is more associated with Wack and 600 and the exposers, if anything, and that he wants to give off the impression he's giving an unbiased opinion. But in reality,
for whatever reason, it seems like Eddie Boy's been victimized by Big U some sort of way, and now he's like a scorned baby mama. And he's like, meanwhile, the nigga's putting his hands on me. It's kind of the vibe he gives.
part of that crew that's trying to take Big U down. This is just my take on it. Today, I'm going to let y'all hear a few clips. And y'all know how I do. I'm going to chime in. But I want y'all to pay close attention to the things that he's saying because these things have a lot to do with credibility. Without wasting any more time, let's get to it.
But I'm going to tell you how cold the federal government is. These dudes, bro, you could be playing ball somewhere. You can be at dinner somewhere. You can be out with your kids somewhere. You can be somewhere at work. You can be somewhere, anywhere you have to be, bro. They will calmly push
Isn't it weird how Eddie Boy's face is always covered like he's some sort of like Yeasis? Like, bro's weird, bro. Super extra ultra weird. Like extra ultra weird with a cherry on top. This guy's odd.
On you, bro. I'm talking about calmly push up on you. They'll introduce themselves. They'll say your full last name. They'll know your history. They'll know everything about you, your movements, everything, who you're dealing with, who your friends, who your associate is, your wife, your girlfriend, whoever it is, etc., etc., etc. They'll push up on you, bro. And if they want you to help them in any type of way, form, or fashion, they're going to start playing some of them wiretaps, bro. They're going to start playing some of them conversations that individuals talking reckless, talking bad about you, talking about what they want to do to you over the phone. They're going to make sure that they try to convince you to cooperate whatever they have going on, even though they may have an airtight case, but they still going to want you to try to cooperate because they're going to feel that that's another charge or another way for them to get that particular individual.
Now, I want to apologize for the quality of that audio, but I didn't want to.
Whatever reason, Eddie Boy decides to give us content from the bus station. Not really sure why he decided to do it that way, but Eddie Boy deemed it appropriate to give us.
Try to clean it up. I ain't want to do nothing to enhance it, alter it in any kind of way, because then they could say it's AI or something like that, you know. So this is taken directly from a video on his channel, but I'm listening to this and I'm like, damn, this dude is describing how the feds approach you. You know, he's describing the situation
pretty convincingly, like a nigga who's been approached,
that the feds will put you in when they are looking to get you to cooperate. Now, he ain't even saying you committed a crime. He like, man, they'll let you hear people talking about you, and you know, we'll get to that part, but I'm listening like, damn, where is he going with this?
So you guys got to understand, man, that these people, bro, they don't play fair, man. And sometimes they come off very convincing. I'm talking about very, very convincing. Because once they start playing that stuff with recording for you, you be like, man, I know this. No, he did not. I know these dudes did not. And then the cold part about it is, when they play it for you, you're gonna know every voice on there, every voice, every individual that was on there. And the only reason they can't really charge these dudes because it's just a conversation. They haven't committed an overact or anything like that. But if you hear that tape and you file a complaint, they can charge you.
Now, the name of this video is like, don't let them fool you.
That is absolutely sick the way that Eddie Boy broke this shit down like a pound, ain't it? You got to watch these niggas, fool, because it makes you just think, like, how the hell is Eddie Boy so knowledgeable about the situation? Niggas, you speaking from personal experience? We know that Eddie Boy has done a lot of police work in the past. We know that Eddie Boy has been working with WAC 100 and 600 when it comes to Flu Flam and skullduggan and larcening. So it just makes you kind of wonder, like, what do niggas really have going on in their free time?
You wiretaps or serious or something like that. But like I said, this dude sound like he's just describing the method in which the feds approach people. And it sounds like he is speaking from experience. It don't sound like he telling you something that he heard, or it sounds like he's literally speaking from experience in a situation like this. He's telling you how you're going to feel, what's going to be going through your mind. Unless he is psychic, he been through this shit before. But let's keep going though.
So my point being is,
I'm saying, like, he's sounding very like personal experience-y.
That when I was reading Big View paperwork yesterday from the prosecutor, they were saying that he was on the phone saying X, Y, Z, talking about his co-defendants, talking about the informants and stuff like that, bro. I've been warning you guys, man. Every time I come on here, I'll be trying to give you guys a warning to the point, man. Look, man, you guys got to be careful, bro. You guys are under a whole bunch of scrutiny. I understand, man, that you guys, a lot of you guys talking about y'all team Big View. A lot of you guys talking about y'all rocking with him or stuff like that, bro. But pay attention to this, man. If you haven't done anything, and if you think you're doing something to help that man, you got to be careful, because you can be committing a crime if you don't know what you're really doing out here in this land, bro. You have to be careful, man, because this is a high power case. This is a case, man, that they do not want to lose. This is an example. This is their stamp. This is their tool, bro, for the next 50, 60 years, man, dealing with the low-level fruit. And when I talk about the low-level fruit, I'm talking about the gang members.
And now we get to the good stuff.
And again, it just seems like this dude's whole plan, his whole point of principality, his whole 1-2 step, like Sierra, is centered around like cleaning up the streets. But then, like, on one end, he kind of goes about it like he wants to be a part of the streets, like he still wants to be involved, like he still wants to be accepted by these dudes. But then on the other end, he's like, oh no, everybody's such a bad guy. I'm gonna tell everybody. Like, Eddie Boy is, yeah, you can't trust nobody covering their face at all. But Eddie Boy is a very peculiar individual, a very, very peculiar individual.
This is a Big U supporter deterrent video. He's describing the way the feds, listen to this, y'all. He's describing the way the feds approach you and how they manipulate people into cooperating by playing audio of, people talking about them and stuff like that, right? And then he says, so yeah, if you thinking you doing something to help this dude, be careful, because you might be getting into a case. You might be getting into some trouble.
Yeah, it sounds like he's trying to cut off all his resources. Like, he doesn't want anybody to be a supporter of him. Like, he doesn't want anybody to be, any type of help to him. Anybody who can help him get about the situation. He wants to basically make it seem like you're going to be in trouble, or you're going to find yourself in a twisted situation with the law, should you choose to want to help this dude out, or should you choose to want to help this dude seek his liberation.
So this is basically a warning to anybody who may be supporting Big U, anybody who may be Team Big U, as he calls it, anybody who may just be looking at the situation and looking at the actual facts and not listening to the gossip. If you paying attention to this, you starting to see that this is a lot of gossip that they taking this man to court for. And this is a message to anybody who may be advocating for him, that the feds might be coming to see you. Now, I'm like, bro, what is the point of this? Because you come off as if you giving us an update on the case, and you talking about wiretaps, and you get.
But that's false. You're not giving us an update on the case. You're looking at the situation and you're giving us your version of the situation that is ultimately a slander campaign and a bunch of propaganda against this man. You haven't actually told us anything about the case. You haven't given us any new legal documents, any new motions. You haven't given us any rulings by the judge, or if any, pieces of information were suppressed, or blah, blah, blah. It's like, there's nothing like that. It's just you're just going on here saying, I don't like him, I don't like him, I don't like him, I don't like him. Don't be friends with him because I don't like him.
Get off into how the feds approach people, which has nothing to do with anybody on the internet. If you talking about the wiretaps that he's already in jail for, like you saying how that's damning evidence against him. What does that have to do with how the feds approach you with the wiretaps? So that sounded like some kind of hidden message. But yeah, this is a Big U deterrent. This is a Big U supporter deterrent. Now, why would a reputable, outstanding member such as this guy, although he claims to have turned his life around, why would somebody, a respectable man of this nature, be on here issuing out warnings for the feds? I want y'all to listen to something else that he said in this video. Pay close attention to this sequence of events, this sequence of words. Check this out.
They're not playing, man. And you guys have to be careful, bro. And if that dude Big U was up in there, man, on that phone like that, man, I don't know if he was or not. I don't know if that brother was that reckless. I don't know. You know, allegedly, I don't know, bro. But I hope he wasn't that reckless. But he was. If he was, bro, I don't.
Now, right here, he's saying, you know, hopefully Big U wasn't that reckless on the phone. I don't know. You know, he sounds like he has absolutely no.
But then again, here you are again speaking so definitively, and then now you hiding behind I don't know. Like Eddie Boy is just not a reliable source.
Clue of what was being said in these wiretaps at all. Now, listen to this.
Look at the boy Loose Cannon, right? You don't even hear from him too much or nothing no more. He didn't probably got smart, or he got his phone privilege taken away. Hey, bro, anytime you're talking to somebody up in here on one of them jacks, bro, they're recording that stuff. You can't be nickel slick.
Duh, nigga, it tells you all calls are being monitored and recorded, goofball. Who would have thought that a jail call is being recorded? It's not the most shocking thing in earth.
They got over 20,000 wiretaps on their case. Not all pertain to the case. Some pertain to other information or other investigations. Some pertain to certain things that Drew's talking about what they want to do to certain individuals.
So that's the part that he's skipping over. Big U saying that he wants to whoop out Wack is now being used against Big U as the United States government has filed an assault charge. Eddie Boy is negating and skipping over the fact that Wack is actually in Big U's paperwork, as Big U has been officially charged with assault on Wack 100. And that's when he says what they're going to do to dudes and blah, blah, blah. No, it's not what they're going to do to dudes like a Baby Shark song. It's what he says. You see what I did there? It's what Wack is, you know, making sure Big U is going to go to jail for. So when it comes to this Flu Flam, this Skulldug, and this Larson, let's just make sure that we're all aware of exactly what the facts of the case are, what the facts of the case are not. Because again, Eddie Boy is leaving out pretty prevalent information when he's negating to tell us that Wack is again a victim in the case and an informant of the case. So you know that happened. So yeah.
Like unaliving and all that stuff, bro. They have all that on there, bro. They got some dudes up in there plotting and planning, you know, running narratives on the internet on certain individuals. They got all that, bro. I heard it all. I didn't heard it all, bro. And the reason I heard it all, because you have to have friends in places. You got to always have friends in places. When you have friends in places, they care about you or something like that, bro, they're going to let you know what time it is. They're going to be like, hey, Ed, don't go around them dudes, man. They X, Y, and Z. They plotting on you, bro. They don't like you. They saying you know too much. They saying you know about all the back doors that happen in the neighborhood and in your generation. They're saying that you have the potential chance to go and say this and say that. They're saying that you want your brother out, and they feel that you're going to do this and you're going to do that.
You have friends in high places, and then you get to telling us how the police are telling you everything that niggas is saying about you. It sound like you an informant, bro. It sound like you working. I ain't gonna.
Even though you
sound like your ass finna tell somebody right goddamn now.
Haven't done it yet, but they feel that you would do that, and these dudes be plotting and planning, bro.
Just that fast. In the exact same video, he went from, I don't know if Big U said this or that or was on the wiretaps doing this or that, I hope not, to, man, they got this much evidence and they got this many recordings and this many gigabytes, and I know, I heard it all. I heard it because I got friends in places. What friends do you have in places that can allow you to hear some evidence, some wiretaps on a case like this right now, active, going on? What friends do you have? And then did y'all hear the sales pitch in there? Oh, they'll come. What his friends say to him, you hear what he said, what his friends be saying? Yeah, they think you would say this and you would say that and you know about all the back doors. Man, that shit sound like an advertisement. It sound like you was trying to put that out there like, yeah, hey, y'all want to know something, come holler at me. That's what that sounds like. While at the same time saying, hey, anybody who trying to help Big U, you're going to end up with a case. They going to investigate you. This dude said they got wiretaps of them on the talking about running narratives on people on the internet. Like, you really trying to... Hey, this shit is dangerous. It's dangerous out here, y'all. And look, he was talking so good in this video that he made a really, really big slip up. He been talking about the feds and how they approach you and all this shit the whole time, right? Now listen to this.
Pay attention to that. I'm gonna tell you how cold the federal government is.
Yeah, Eddie Boy is going about this situation extremely flamorous, Douglas, and larcenous. And you can clearly see that he has an agenda, and it's entirely propagated around making sure Big U ends up with the maximum amount of time possible.
And I never caught no federal case, something like that. I got jacked up. Yeah, I did. I caught a gun case way long time ago, man, but it got dismissed. But Alhamdulillah, because Baby Bro came and said it was here that they were trying to charge me. But they dismissed it. But I never had a chance to basically go through that system or anything like that.
Now, I want y'all to pay attention to something, right? This dude just said, first of all, he said that he has had an encounter with the feds where they were trying to charge him with a weapon. He has had an encounter with the feds where they were trying to charge him with a weapon. Where is the documentation? If you have been in any type of interaction with the feds, especially where charges are related, whether somebody came and took the weight or not, for sure, if somebody did that, it's going to be some documentation. Something, a report, an investigative report, but you said it was dismissed, meaning that you was charged. So where's the case number? Why can't we, even if it's dismissed, it's still going to show on the record. It's going to be on the docket somewhere. So I'm calling cap as far as the charges. But I want y'all to pay attention to something else. This dude been in jail.
Now, when it comes to the charges being put against Big U, we really haven't seen anything substantial. We really haven't seen anything that's too crazy. They said that they had him for that body, but it doesn't seem like they really have him for the body. I know there's a lot of situations going on when it comes to how he handled money with the government and all that. So that's to be seen and all that. But the biggest thing that they were talking about was him allegedly having his body on him, and we've yet to really see that come into fruition.
For 30 years or something, 32 years or some shit. He always saying how long he been. I think it's 32 years. This dude been in jail basically since the 90s, right? The case with he and Big U happened back in the 90s. So if this federal encounter really did happen, then it would have had to have occurred prior to this situation where you and Big U were allegedly set up by somebody that you were dealing with. This case happened back in the 90s. I know the appeal happened in 94, so maybe 93, 92 when the shit actually went down. So look at this from this perspective. Eddie Boy has been charged or approached by the feds in exchange for a gun. I mean, in regards to a gun case. If you look at this paperwork, it says that Eddie Boy is the one who contacted these people that ended up being the feds. So
So Eddie Boy is the one who actually put the police into the situation, into the environment with Big U, not the other way around. That's incredible because Eddie Boy has maintained for the entirety of his time on the YouTube space that Big U was the one who put the police on him. But in actuality and tangibility, you see, it's actually, in fact, Eddie Boy is the one who got the police involved into the situation with his tattletale and A-double-double.
You know that you weren't in trouble for this federal gun charge or whatever it is that you're talking about, and you didn't call and set up a fake sting, you know what I'm saying, and get Big U wrapped up in your situation. Because you was going to jail anyway, it sound like, and this is just one instance that we can bring up from prior to this situation that you were involved in. You got other cases and situations that was going on prior to this situation with Big U. So for all we know, bro, you had these cases stacked up, piled up against you, and you needed to take somebody down before you went down to stop your sins.
That's really what it sounds like, nigga. You tried to throw the case on somebody else because you was finna get caught up with a flu flame.
From being life. How we know you wasn't finna get life and they just knocked it down to 32 because you faked like you was trying to buy some dope and brought Big U along and got him locked up too? That sounds pretty logical to me, especially when you saying you got a federal history. You got a history with the feds of them trying to come pick you up and charge you with a gun, and your brother took the weight. Like, where the hell is the paperwork? Where's the documentation? If you show us that documentation, I'm pretty sure it's going to say that it's dated prior to this incident. So again, how do we know that you aren't the person who walked Big U into this federal sting or this sting?
It's crazy because Wack 100 is the one who introduced Eddie Boy into our space, and it makes you wonder if Wack was aware or knowing of the fact that Eddie Boy is a government informant, a federal informant, and they're, kind of working together to get Big U about this situation, because we do know that Wack has federal ties. We do know that Wack, in fact, does have federal indictment activities attached to his name. So here you now have Eddie Boy coming into the case, and it just seems like it's a whole setup from the beginning, man. It's a lot of intricate moves involved to keep Big U into a place where he's behind bars by these dudes.
Say federal, but how we know you didn't walk him into this thing to get yourself out of a bad situation? This is where credibility comes into play. And if you listen to this video, this dude don't got no credibility, man. So I get the message that you trying to put out, but nobody worried about getting picked up by the feds or getting charged or nothing for speaking the truth in regards to somebody's case. Y'all dudes is so used to being able to get on here and run whatever narrative that y'all want to run, and people look into y'all because y'all from a specific place and have a specific background, that y'all don't know how to combat facts with facts. So now you trying to just intimidate and kind of like you trying to send little shots, the feds ain't scaring nobody, bro. What the hell the feds gonna do about breaking down some paperwork? So that don't even sound right. Talking about helping him and the feds to come get you. And man, we don't want to hear that shit. We want to hear about what happened with you with the feds. Where is that paperwork? Because I've been on Pacer. I went on the BOP site, all of that shit. Where is that? It doesn't even exist. Case number, none of that. So let's come up with that. And another thing I want to point out before I get out of here is the paperwork
It's crazy that none of Eddie Boy's paperwork can be found on Pacer. Nigga, you are doing your best to stay in the shadows, ain't you?
Dropped on Eddie Boy when he was talking to the feds while in prison. That was the real feds that he was talking to. So here we have allegedly, prior to him catching this case with Big U, he was in a situation where the feds was on him about a gun. Somehow Big U end up wrapped up in a case where they trying to buy 15 keys and got 200,000 cash and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? So that sounds crazy. Then you get to prison and we still seeing documents popping up with your name on it, talking to some feds about dealings that people got going on in jail. Now you out here dealing with Wack 100 and all these guys trying to tell people about how the feds work, how they approach you, the information that they use.
That's sick, nigga. Now you over here trying to explain to us how the feds work when you are their top worker. That all being said, man, we can get up out of here to the next one. Chat, y'all been beautiful tonight, man. I'll be back later on tomorrow. Y'all know the deal is red dots to the left. You know the rest.